A man with COVID in a UK hospital is a US fugitive suspected of forcing himself upon women and faking his own death. Nicholas Rossi, 35, has spent the last 11 months trying to con the Scottish courts into believing he is Arthur Knight, an orphan from Ireland who has never been to the US. But on Friday, Edinburgh Sheriff Court found him to be Rossi, a man the US authorities have been seeking in relation to 2 forced assaults allegations. Rossi was first arrested in October last year after checking himself into a hospital in Glasgow with COVID-19. It is alleged he faked his own death in the US and fled to Scotland to evade prosecution. Medical staff and police were able to identify him by comparing his tattoos with pictures of Rossi on an Interpol red notice. A stream of preliminary hearings then took place, which saw Rossi sack at least 6 lawyers and claim to have been tortured in prison. The hearings culminated in an extraordinary identification case where he insisted his fingerprints had been meddled with and that he had been tattooed while unconscious in the hospital in order to resemble Rossi. During evidence this week, 10-print identification officer Lisa Davidson said fingerprints taken from the man by Scottish police and those of Rossi printed on a US extradition request and an Interpol red notice were identical. But the man claimed the fingerprints were meddled with and taken from him by an NHS worker called Patrick on behalf of David Levitt, a Utah County lawyer. He also said he was tattooed while comatose in hospital, telling the court this is why he has similar tattoos to Rossi. Advocate Deputy Paul Harvey dismissed the man's claims as fanciful, entirely outlandish and bizarre. Making his closing submission on Wednesday, the 3rd day of the hearing, Mr. Harvey said the sheriff has the information he needs to find that the man is Rossi. Mungo Bovey KC, defending, said the evidence heard so far about the tattoos is vague and insubstantial. He described the analysis of the fingerprints given by 2 forensic experts before the courts as not good. Earlier, the court was told that US prosecutors submitted supplementary extradition requests in late October for the man. One relates to an allegation of forcing himself on a woman in Salt Lake City and another assault elsewhere. The man is already fighting an extradition request by authorities in Utah, where it is alleged he forced himself on a 21-year-old. It could still take months for the courts to extradite him. Please hit subscribe so you can keep up to date with all the true crime news.